One of the Jewish stories I tell in my book is there's a belief in Judaism that when a child takes their first breath at life, when they're born, that is the breath of God, Yahweh, entering their body, and it courses through their body. That's the inspiration, the in spirit, until our last breath, which is expiration, our outgoes breath. And that life force is the life force of desire.
Yeah.
Desire is at the root of all innovation, all creativity.
Yes.
I want, I see, I imagine, I desire. And desire was seen from a Jewish perspective as human, but that we needed to manage the desire in a way that also didn't hurt other people. Right?
Yeah.
So I might want to go hiking, but I might decide, no, I'm not going to go hiking because I need to get my kids up and get them off to school. It's just a discipline because there are higher callings. There's higher things in my life. If we're not taught any of that, then we wonder why people are and have been just out there self-destructing.
Yeah, and you talked about alternative trajectories, even for our Judeo-Christian heritage,
Yes,
and where we
yes.
went off the rails. The Kabbalistic mythology is cool too, because it links mind and body, the
Yes.
chakras, and
Yes.
associating these energy points in the body with universal
That's right.
truths and energies. So there's all this good stuff.
Oh, there's some beautiful stuff. I think I have 8 different stories that are Jewish, and some are mystic Jewish,
Yeah.
but they're, yeah.
The
I just remember when I discovered them, when I was even writing the book, I'd be like, what? You know, like I was reading these tomes of Jewish texts that was way over my head. And then I'd stumble upon them. I'm like, wait, did I get that right? And then I'd be finding other books like, holy cow, how come that was never talked about at least in the Christian side of things?
Yeah, and it wasn't talked about on the Jewish side of things either. I'm of the faith, at least ethnically, and my father forced me into years of Hebrew school. There was never a single mention of any of the mystic tradition. Never.
Really?
Not a single mention. And that's where all the gold is, really.
There's so much
with
there.
the archangels and the hierarchy and the connection to the body and all these wonderful stories as you illustrate. So it's a hidden tradition, and going back to the psychedelics, it's opening up the doors of your knowledge, which is a lot of the traditions and religions are just so rich, and we've been taught to ignore most of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And only kind of go to the things that serve power and control. And we just wipe out, everything else. There is a 1st century Jewish rabbi who is well known for talking about when you moved the paraclete away so that the people, which was happened once a year, the people could see inside the Holy of Holies, they saw that on top, this was in the last temple, the one that was destroyed in 72 AD, the depiction of the cherubim was different each construction of the temple. And in this one, they were in seated sexual embrace.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
The 1st century rabbi is known for saying, see this? This is so you can know that God loves you and longs for you like a lover.
Right. A little Jewish Kundalini magic, right?
But how much different would your life have been if even in the ether was this idea, right? That sex is part of the breath of life.
Yeah, we should embrace it as a joy and as an expression of God rather than a repression of the man.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. And that we're willing to understand that there's power. There is power we don't entirely understand potentially in this. And so how do we manage it in a way that honors anybody involved, that is good for all of us, or you and I, or me, whatever the deal is, right? And we take time to make sure that there's spaciousness for that kind of experience to come through, because there's safety and fun.
It could be pure joy if we could just get over ourselves.
I know. Well, I think it is pure joy when we get over ourselves so often.
Yeah. And I think that's a great way to top it.